Solve the problem using a system of equations. The owner of a tea shop wants to mix 3 kinds of tea to make 100 ounces of a mixture that will sell for $0.83 per ounce. He uses orange Pico, which sells for $0.80 per ounce, Irish Breakfast for $0.85 per ounce, and Earl Grey for $0.95 per ounce. If he wants to use twice as much orange Pico as Irish Breakfast, how much of each kind of tea should he use? We've read the problem carefully. Next, define your variables. Let's let X represent the amount of orange Pico, Y the amount of Irish Breakfast, and Z the amount of Earl Grey. Now we want to write a system of equations, 3 equations in fact, to solve for these 3 unknowns. One equation that we can write summarizes the fact that the owner wants 100 ounces of tea total. So X plus Y plus Z is equal to 100. A second equation that we can write relates the prices of the tea. This first product represents the fact that orange Pico sells for $0.8 per ounce, or you might think of that as 80 cents per ounce. So if we multiply that price per ounce times the number of ounces, we get a value in dollars. So we have the value of this amount of orange Pico plus the value of this amount of Irish Breakfast plus the value, and this is in dollars, of the amount of Earl Grey equal to the value of our total mixture. And we're told that this mixture is going to sell for 83 cents per ounce. There are going to be 100 ounces of it. I'm going to go ahead and make a note that that product is 83. And let's clean this equation up a little bit before we move to our next equation. Multiply it through by 100 to get 80x plus 85y plus 95z is equal to 83 times 100, or 8,300. Now let's call that equation 2, our first equation up there, equation 1. Now we need a third equation. We're told that he wants to use twice as much orange Pico as Irish Breakfast. So this amount X is going to be 2 times Y. The amount of orange Pico is 2 times the amount of Irish Breakfast. Let's identify that as equation 3. So we've completed that step, we've written our equations. Now let's solve this system of equations. I'm going to start with the elimination method, and I'm going to select equations 1 and 2. I'm going to eliminate the variable z because this third equation does not have z in it. So let's eliminate z from the first 2. Multiply equation 1 then through by a negative 95 to get negative 95x minus 95y minus 95z is equal to a negative 9,500. So that was negative 95 times equation 1. Now let's just write equation 2. It is 80x plus 85y plus 95z is equal to 8,300. Add these equations together. Notice that your z variable is going to cancel. We get a negative 15x minus 10y is equal to a negative 1,200. We can call that equation 4. I'm going to clean equation 4 up just a little bit, noticing that we have a common factor here of 5. In fact, let's divide everything here through by negative 5 to even change the signs. Negative 15x divided by negative 5 gives 3x. Negative 10y divided by negative 5 gives a positive 2y. On the right-hand side, negative 1,200 divided by negative 5 is a positive 240. And since we've changed that equation 4 up a bit, let's denote this as equation 5. Now, I want you to focus in on equation 5 and our original equation 3, which is x equal 2y. And let's use the substitution method there. substituting in for x the value 2y. Here we go. So this equation 5 becomes 3 times 2y plus 2y is equal to 240. That's 6y plus 2y, or 8y, is 240. That gives y is equal to 30. So we found the amount of Irish breakfast. That's 30, and this is in terms of ounces. Let's use now equation 3, which reads x is equal to 2y, to solve for x, the amount of orange pico. Substituting 30 in for y gives x is equal to 2 times 30, or x is equal to 60. So now we know the amount of orange pico. Lastly, let's determine z, the amount of Earl Grey. And I'm going to do that by going back into equation 1. Equation 1 reads x plus y plus z is equal to 100. We know y and we know x. Let's substitute those values. So 60 plus 30 plus z is equal to 100. That's 90 plus z is 100. So z must be 10. All right, let's state our answer very clearly. We found x, that's the amount of orange pico in ounces. So 60 ounces of orange pico. We found y, that's 30. It's the amount of Irish breakfast in ounces. So 30 ounces of Irish breakfast. Lastly, 10 ounces of Earl Grey. And so let's state our answer very clearly. 60 ounces of orange pico, 30 ounces of Irish breakfast, 10 ounces of Earl Grey. We can check those solutions in a couple of equations very quickly. Notice that the sum of these amounts is indeed 100. Also notice that the amount of orange pico is indeed twice the amount of Irish breakfast, as indicated. As a last step, I'm going to leave this one up to you. Go ahead and check our equation number 2, which relates the prices of these teas. And when you do, that equation is going to check out as well. And we do indeed have the correct answer.